and bound with tea. How the media makes these guys look like kooks and these guys not look like crazies. Julianne Thompson's in that former crowd, the Tea Partiers, and proud of it. And as a Tea Partier, Julianne, you must be shaking your head right now at a very different media presentation. What do you think?
Well, it's, as the gentleman put it, it's quite a day for a desire for anarcho-communism in America. Unfortunately, it seems that a great deal of the mainstream media is bent on destroying the Tea Party movement. And, you know, we work very hard to plan our rallies in advance. We hold peaceful rallies. We promote fiscal responsibility, limited government, and we promote the free markets, and we're demonized. And Occupy gets out and they promote anarchy and rioting, and they're glorified. So it's very frustrating.
You know what's kind of weird a little bit about it, Julianne, is that you were very targeted, surgical almost, in your approach toward the strategy. That is smaller government. These guys will get violent, indiscriminate rage. Sometimes, you know, understand people get hot and bothered, you know, in an environment like this. But the media doesn't find you cool. They find these guys cool.
That's very unfortunate. Like I said, we're out there promoting American patriotism. We're promoting personal responsibility, yet you see, whether it is the mainstream media or entertainment television, like on the recent Academy Awards when one of the hosts referred to one of the presenters as being Occupy before Occupy was cool. So, you know, most definitely we're not cool to a lot of them.
But if you had, not that you would, but if you had to give this cause, protest, movement, whatever you want to call it, some advice, I'd be curious, what would it be?
That's really hard to say. In the very beginning, the Occupy movement was sort of a mishmash of a lot of different people angry for different reasons. You had people out there protesting eating meat, you know, vegetarian protesters. You had people protesting, you know, what they called greed on Wall Street, and you never really were sure what their identity was. But I think as the Occupy movement has evolved and what we see today as a call for anarchy and for rioting and for violence in some cases, I think that the Occupy movement has definitely achieved their identity.
But you work within the system to change the system. Memory serves me right. The Tea Party movement was clearly responsible for getting 80+ congressmen and women in there that would reflect Tea Party values and views. That is limited government, less spending. We could argue back and forth as to whether that has happened since they've come to power. But nevertheless, you work within the system. These folks seem to be saying, no, the system is what's wrong. What do you think of that mixed message?
Well, I think it's a mixed message for a variety of reasons. As you stated, we worked within the system to try to change things. When it comes to our rallies and protests that we've had, we obtain permits, we pay the fees, we plan our rallies well in advance, and we promote a peaceful message of change at the ballot box. Yet, by contrast, Occupy Atlanta took control of one of our public parks for weeks on end until we got to the point where the Atlanta Tea Party threatened to sue because we were not getting equal application of the law. And as a result, only at that time did Mayor Kasim Reed actually ask them to leave the park. So it's a mixed message, I think, because there hasn't been an equal application of the law by a lot of our elected officials, and because we're not getting fair coverage in the mainstream media.
No, you're not, Julia. No, you're not. But thank you very, very much. Very good having you.
Thank you for having me, Neil.